Tonight, I reflect on the efficiency with which government appears to move lately. It is fascinating how fast those in government can move to implement change. I take special note that 3 days after President William Ruto signed into law the Finance Bill of 2023, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, is ready to release the new pump prices of petroleum products without waiting for the July 14th. You see, this will facilitate the government to achieve its revenue target of 51 billion shillings from the review of VAT on fuel to be paid for by Kenyans. The whole journey of the Finance Act 2023 has been one of record efficiency. You see, Parliament invited views from the public and closed receipt of written memoranda by 20th of May. In just 2 weeks, the National Assembly Finance and Planning Committee managed to hear hundreds of Kenyans and read dozens of emails sent to them. In just over a weekend, the committee was able to synthesize the views of the public contained in 3,000 pages of documents at a hotel in Naivasha, made possible by the efficiency of the Parliamentary Service Commission. And soon the MPs returned to Nairobi with a list of amendments to the bill that they attributed to the voices of Kenyans. In just a day, Parliament concluded the second reading of the bill. In just 2 days and nights, the 13th Parliament cleared the bill for presidential assent. Great efficiency. I gather that the Kenya Revenue Authority is ready with a platform of how the 1.5% housing levy will be calculated and deducted from employees' salaries to be matched by employers. A system replete with what penalties will be instituted should employers fail to remit the deductions by the 9th of subsequent month. Again, great efficiency by government. Do you also remember how efficient the government was in swearing in the new chief administrative secretaries? On the afternoon of Wednesday, 22nd March 2023, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula communicated that there was no law requiring or enabling the House to vet chief administrative secretaries as proposed by the President. Same afternoon, State House communicated that following Wetangula's communication, the President had caused the appointment of the 50 nominees. The following day, they were all sworn in before midday. Efficiency. Well, the CSs were stopped from working or drawing a salary by the courts pending a case against their recruitment. They are now counting on the efficiency of the justice system. How about the other side of delivery of government services? Let's start with education.
That in the financial year of 2021-2022, the maximum we received was 17,792.20 cents, which includes the retained money at the Ministry for Edu-Afia and Activities. We are looking for 4,451 balance for that academic year. This year, the financial year is ending on Friday. We have also received a similar figure of about 17,000. Still, we are looking for another 5,000. Allow me, as I leave that topic of funding, to give you a fee demand note of 8,901 shillings for every child in Kenya that parent number one you still owe.
The school principals did not allocate themselves the capitation funds. The government did. Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu has been on record promising to release funds owed to schools in 2 weeks' time since March 2023. The promise was only honored on 7th of June. Inefficiency? Now, the government is in the process of enacting new regulations to require increase to the NHIF contributions to 2.75%. You see, every month, employers must remit NHIF deductions by the 9th of the month following the deductions, failing which they would be penalized. When NHIF contributors fall sick, they ought to present themselves at a hospital they have chosen in advance for outpatient services. Still, it takes a process to get cleared to access the NHIF services if lucky. Once treated, Hospitals may make claims to NHIF, but this can happen.
Small challenges and delays on disbursement of funds to the National Health Insurance NHIF fund. However, I am happy to report, PCS, as at this morning, I received a call from Treasury that funds have now been disbursed to NHIF.
Inefficiency. Now, tens of thousands of Kenyans have complained of delays in the production of their passports. Despite the efficient system that collects the payments for passport applications and issues an invoice in real time, it has taken several Kenyans months to access the crucial document. The explanation: technical challenges, broken printing machines, and lack of printing booklets. Many words for government inefficiency. What of pensioners whose retirement benefits the government has delayed? I know the government has been struggling with cash flow challenges, but I suppose the least a society could do is to honor its elderly that gave their youth and productive years to the service of a nation. And then there is the Inua Jamii program that gives 2,000 shillings per month to the elderly and vulnerable, 1 million of them. For more than 7 months, they have not received a penny, and then
funds will be credited to accounts of 1,072,226 Inua Jamii beneficiaries. Each beneficiary will receive Kenya shillings 16,000 to be paid in 2 tranches in June and July.
I could go on and on to even talk about pending bills that are never paid unless you know someone who can connect you with a man or woman of influence at a fee most times. Inefficiency breeds corruption. Corruption thrives in inefficiency. But then a government exists to offer common services known as public goods. Public goods are financed through taxes collected without space for excuses. So should social services, if the existence of government is to make sense? And that is my sense tonight.